Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome back to Marks of a Man podcast, a continued production of Men Build Men. Tonight or this evening here in the studio, we're going to do another biography series on the life of our buddy, Markus Nielsen. So, Markus, welcome to the studio. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, Markus is a part of Men Build Men, and we wanted to take an opportunity for our listeners and viewers to hear his life story. He is from Denmark and a Danish soldier, and we got to know one another here through Men Build Men. And I wanted y'all, the listener and the viewers, to hear his life. So, Markus, man, like, what year were you born in Denmark?
Oh, I was born in the late 1900s.
Yeah.
1989.
1989.
And the year the wall came
Right
out.
on, right on. All right. So maybe we need to take it from the top. There's probably some people that are listening, and hopefully not, but they might need to know where Denmark is.
Yeah, no.
So let's talk geographically. Where is the country of Denmark?
So it is in Scandinavia. So there's a few, like handful of countries that are in like Scandinavia. Ours is of course the main one. But we are a peninsula on top of Germany.
Good.
So we're right in between Germany on the bottom. Then there's us, England, Norway, Sweden. Okay, we're right there with Canada.
And in 1989, what was sort of the country's atmosphere, culture? I know you may not remember the year that you were born, but can you maybe help us set the stage for sort of when you were born in that country? Was there any major political upheaval? Was the government stable? What was happening in the country sort of at that time?
Historically, not to say or imply that I had anything to do with it, but it was the year that the Berlin Wall came down.
Yeah.
So at the end of the Soviet Union, USSR, ended. I believe it was Kennedy said, like, Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall. It was huge. I mean, like, there were tens of thousands of people from the east and the west that was in there to watch the wall be taken down. My country, it was like, I think they were, like hopeful. They were like excited. But yeah, I mean, like, it was a big year in a European history. Because, like
You're talking about the wall between East Germany and West Germany.
yeah, right, yeah. I'm sorry. So that was the wall that they made at when our Second World War was ended. The Russians went in from the east. The Allies went in on the west. They met in the middle. And no one wanted to hand over Berlin.
So I don't know, which side did Denmark fight in World War II?
So we were on the Allied side, but we got invaded and conquered on April 9th, 1940. Very dramatically, kinda. We or non-dramatically, as I should say, the military was told to stand down, and like nobody kind of knew why. And then all of a sudden, there was the Germans. They sailed right into like the harbor. They rolling over the border with their tanks. There was a border company on the Danish German border that refused the order, and they fought, and like needless to say, I mean, basically got run over by like 1,000 German tanks. Nine soldiers lost their life. And then the only other place we had any conflict was in Copenhagen with the Royal Guards.
Yeah.
Refused the Germans entry into the palace to the Danish king.
Is this something that you learned in public school systems, or were you actually ever have a conversation with grandparents or aunts and uncles to learn any of this country history?
Yeah, so we love our history. So like specifically, we learned about it at the Royal Guard story. The firefights means extra to me because I was a Royal Guard.
Yeah, we're gonna definitely get into that. So don't so yeah, and skip. So your history is the Germans invaded, or sounds like they were sort of let in.
Yeah,
They were let in sort of secretly, right? And then
yeah.
what were you saying in the history books that the Royal Guard refused to let the Germans in
Mhm.
to the king? Was the king still in power at that time, or was he more of a political figurehead?
Yeah, so they had an hours long firefights, and like in the end, the Germans like not wave the white flags, but like, hey, like let's have like negotiations, and like ended up with that the Royal Guards and the king were allowed to operate normally within the castle. So everywhere else in the entire country was under German occupation except within the palace. And the king actually used to ride around on his horse in the mornings to help with the morale of the Danish people, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. So they got invaded April 9th, and yeah, like there was like a consensus that they were let in to like spare the lives of like Danish people at the destruction. But like a lot of people were like, like why didn't we fight? Like why didn't we put up a fight? But then after that, we had freedom fighters.
So that 50 year, we're gonna get into it. You're born in 1989, 40s. I mean, that 50-year span when you were invaded or occupied, did the Germans were they extracted after the World War, after the Germans lost? What happened in that your history?
Yeah, so they capitulated on May 5th, 1945, where we were liberated by the Allies,
Yeah.
led by the Americans,
Yeah.
and they walked all the way back to Germany, and that's when it like started the whole uh not that everybody in like Europe like kind of hates the Germans, but like there's like this underlying like animosity, and like Germans I mean, but they don't deny it,
Yeah.
but it kind of like the French hate the British and
Yeah.
so but yeah, no, so that was like the end when like that, you know
So they
the walls.
and they came out. Then did the Danish king, did he get back sort of his monarchy and his rule,
Mhm.
or was there a different form of government that ruled Denmark?
And so we've been a parliament for a very long time. I'm not able to remember like the year, but yeah. So essentially, he was the head of the state,
Yeah.
but we have a prime minister. So that's leads like the Danish government, but above it all is like the king, or like the royal family. But it's kind of like if they exercise their rights, they lose their spot. So it's when the kind of like revolution happened, they were allowed to remain as the royal family and have a role, but not like exercise it.
Yeah.
So, but the Danish people, we love the royal family. I mean, they're very 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 special. They're the oldest continuous royal family in the entire world. So like they can trace their ancestors like all the way back to Harold Bluetooth, I think he's called, or like Viking King.
Yeah.
Like way back, and all of the other royal families in the rest of the world, they can trace their roots into the Danish. So like they all like intermarry. So and we have the oldest flag in the whole world. Like the history recognizes the Danish flag as being the oldest flag in the world.
Right on.
So pretty cool.
Yeah, very cool. So you're born in 1989.
Yeah.
What kind of family are you born into? Your mom and dad, you got grandparents, big family, small family.
Yeah.
What's it like in 1989 when you're born?
So I am the oldest. My mom and dad, they got pregnant out of wedlock. We have kind of like a running joke that because I have a stutter, my mom and dad, they got married March 5th, and I was born May 5th. So that that I have a stutter because I cooked a little too fast, and so back then, like they were not supposed to be like that, but my mom and dad are both they got in a relationship with each other, and then like started going to church, and became believers.
Okay.
So they were kind of
Are they both Danish?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And your dad's side, is he Danish? Is your mom's side Danish? Is there a long legacy of like generations where they've always lived in Denmark?
Yeah, so we are primarily Danish. My grandfather had what's it called, the ancestor,
Mhm.
like ancestry.com.
Yeah.
When he was alive once, he did that, and we're a little bit German, a little bit Swedish, which is not like a shock. But apparently we also have some Jewish in us, which he was shocked about, but it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, we're primarily Danish.
You guys got any like family shields or family swords or family like Viking hats or anything that like old school, and any ships, like
No, so my grandfather always used to tell a story about how my great grandma was of a highborn family, and she fell in love with the stable boy, and was told no can do, and then they ran off, and she lost kind of her spot and like the inheritance.
Hmm.
So that's nice to know that we like
yeah.
we came this like why couldn't you just
I got a couple questions before we get into your life story, just out of my own curiosity. Like when you in America, you own land, you have free title. How is like the structure of your parents where you grew up? Did they have a home? Was it free estate? Did they own it themselves? Did they rent? Did they buy? Like, what was the culture of home ownership and ownership in general? Like
yeah
those Amish people.
we so my parents, they rented homes when I was born um until I was, I think, 2 or 3 years old. Like they bought their first home,
Gotcha.
and yeah, and then like
So we haven't rented since. You own it free and clear. Like in other words, like you have this bundle of rights, or does the Danish government limit your rights of what you can and can't do with property?
oh no, so they own it kind of like how like we do over here.
Gotcha.
Like
Yeah.
like get a mortgage.
Yep.
And that's, yeah, I mean, they I think they can buy your home if you want to, and if you refuse, I'm fairly certain there are ways that like government can get your home,
Of course.
if they want it. But yeah, no, so they were
Where hey, when you were born in Denmark, where were you born? Like what city? Like where, northwest, south, east, central?
I was born in the middle of the mainland, so we're we're kind of like the mainland, and then we have all these islands, large islands, small islands. And I was born in a city called Randers or Ranas, if you're from there. But it's the fifth largest city in the country, with at the time was between 60 to 70,000 people living there.
How close to the water, like in proximity to the island itself or the mainland? How close to water are you?
Right on it. Like we're on the Kattegat side.
Okay.
If you watched the show Vikings on like Netflix, like they live in Kattegat.
Gotcha.
But Netflix, they say it's up in like Norway. It's like the real Vikings was in Denmark.
So you grew up in a urban maritime. I mean, it's a big city, 60,000 people, but it was also very maritime based. I mean, with like a lot of fisherman culture, a lot of shipping. What was like sort of the framework of industry and society?
So like we definitely had that. The maritime was we have like a main port, and like that was about as maritime as it got.
Gotcha.
Fishermen, they lived in smaller villages out. I mean, like based around like the whole like, coast of Denmark. I heard once a like thing that in Denmark you're never farther away from the ocean than like 40 minutes. So like it won't matter where you are, you're always within the ocean. Or
Gotcha.
but yeah, no, we at summertime, like you can go to like fishing cities, and like you can buy like fish like right off the boats, which like we love. But like beaches all the way around.
I'm getting really cold water.
Yes, yeah, like my dad always used to yell like that I was being a chicken, because I'm like one of the, which is not very manly, but I'm like one of the people, like I cannot jump in without first having to kind of like put my toe in. And like he's like, just jump in, don't be a chicken. And he's like, how are you supposed to be a Viking? And like he's like, how are you descended from Vikings? And I was always like, well, I'm always not one of the big Vikings. I'm like the guy with the big mouth behind everybody else. But
All right, so you're the oldest of how many siblings?
I'm the oldest of 5 boys.
Okay, 5 boys.
Mhm.
All right, and what did your father do as a profession?
He was a licensed electrician,
Gotcha.
and then he became a master electrician.
Did your mother stay at home and handle 5 boys and do nothing but shop and cook? 5 boys?
Yes, yeah, and just survive. My wife. When people ask her what she does, like she does, she says she does her best, and that's what my mom did. Like if you made it through into the night, you.
What are the age differences or separation between the 5 boys?
So so myself and my next one, basically Irish twins. So I was born in 89, in May 89. My next brother was born in August 90.
So your parents are active.
Yeah,
Yeah, and we're having children.
very much so. Yeah, it was at that time, apparently, like the doctors was like, as long as you're breastfeeding, you can get pregnant. And my mom, she showed up at the doctor 6 months later with, that's a lie.
Yeah, I'm thinking, hey, dog, you're wrong here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we like to we like to challenge the medical industry, But yeah, so there's me. I'm from 89. My next brother, he is from 90. My next brother is 92 and 96. And my last brother, he's like 2001, 2002 maybe, but I was 13 years old when he was born.
Yeah.
So, and I don't think, I think I can say this without, like dishonoring my parents, but I'm pretty sure none of us was planned.
Yeah.
It was just,
Yeah.
what, whatever happens.
Yeah, exactly.
Cause then when he popped out, my dad, he went to the doctor and he got it handled. My mom really wanted a girl, and my dad was like, no more.
Yeah.
No more.
Sorry. So you're the number 4 and number 5, maybe a little bit age, but like, what was it like having multiple young Danish boys living in the house? I mean, what was it like? What'd you guys get into? What kind of activities, trouble? What'd y'all do?
Chaos. Absolute chaos. If we didn't have nice things, for, like multiple reasons. I mean, like one, like if we would break them, like every year we got a blow up swimming pool, and every year we broke it. I mean, like there was one year I made up my mind, and I don't remember how old I was, maybe 6 or 7, but I wanted to see how many times that I could throw a knife across the pool just to see it. And of course it landed in the wall.
And what happened? Did your dad give you the belt, or did he get the paddle, or the bare hand?
My dad used his bare hands.
Yeah.
He was a man. And
Just not. Do you actually get it through the jeans, or did you get it the bare bottom?
Oh, he made you take off your pants. I lay yourself on his
Drop it, knees, like a little bit easier to access the rump.
And at first you fought it, but then you just accepted that was like your destiny.
So getting your backside tore up did not deter you from the next year from trying to throw the knife again
Yeah.
across the pool the second time?
Yeah, no, yeah, it was just, how it was. And it's just, I mean, like there was one year, wooden shoes, clogs.
Yeah. I thought they were from like Holland.
Yeah, and so we have important clogs. I mean, it's easy. It's like here, like everybody wears
Crocs.
Crocs now. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're like the OG version, and like you can kill a man with them. I mean, like I don't know, like farmers wear them, like riding up like in their tractors. So like they get out of their boots and they hop in their clogs. Yeah, but yeah. So like one year, like I was mad, and I don't know who I was mad at, but I went out and had those clogs on, and I kicked the side wall, and my foot went through. So needless to say, I wasn't like the brightest of kids. But
did your brothers also get tore up as well?
Yeah, I mean we fought, like cats and dogs. My mom, she dropped like out of school when she went to school, and when after a few years of like being like home with us, she ran a daycare, or what's the word, like not
Chaos center.
yeah, like just it was it's like it's like publicly funded.
Gotcha.
Like here it's like like privately funded, but like over there, like you get licensed by the city, and they and so she would have, which again, she would have us 5, and she would have 5 other kids, and then we would bring our friends home from school. And when my dad got home at like 5 or 6, I mean, like there were days where he wasn't able to open up the front door because of all like the toys. And so like sometimes we watched him park, and he just looked and saw like the parents or else, and he just left and was back like an hour later. And there were days where he just went in and went straight to his bedroom. Like he just my dad was an only child.
Okay.
Raised by his mom. Kind of like broken story, but it never had a dad, so he had to learn how to be a dad, and had he wasn't like raised like as a believer. He like had a lot of demons and like struggles, so that he went from being an only child to being a father of 5 and being married to my mom.
Yeah.
Who ran, like an in-house daycare. I mean, it was chaos. I mean, we didn't drive nice cars. Like we didn't have a lot of money, but we always had enough.
What was like a normal diet for you guys? I mean, we fish, meat, potatoes, salad, vegetables. Like what do Danish boys eat?
Love potatoes.
Yeah.
Potatoes, gravy. because we didn't have a lot of money, we ate a lot of spaghetti meat sauce.
Okay.
Like a lot. It was like once a week. But yeah, no. So we eat a lot of bread too.
Okay.
Bread is huge in our culture, but like everything is fresh. The milk, like after you open up a milk, will only last like 3 days. It's from our farm to the store like within 24 hours. I mean, it's just nice, like healthy food. But yeah, so we eat a lot of pork, chicken, and red meat. We export a lot of meat.
Okay.
There is, I think like one time they said there's 6 cows to every one person in Denmark, 12 pigs, and I think 20 chickens or something like that. So we export a lot to the EU.
Right on.
But yeah, so that's what we ate a lot. At the end of where I was living at home, my mom would go to the grocery store like every week, and like she would buy 5 gallons of milk per week. So we would go for like 20 gallons.
I'll bet you also went through some toilet paper.
Oh yeah, I mean, if we had lived home in the pandemic, my parents would have been like, "Here's like the washable ones, like bro, like."
You're probably not old enough. I actually remember like cloth diapers. I don't know what they did in Denmark. Oh yeah, but like, I'm old enough that, like, bro. Yeah, they weren't doing disposable diapers. Yeah, I know that's sort of, we're getting off topic. Before I get us back on topic,
Yeah.
this may be a good time for you to subscribe to the channel, mash that like button, do what you need to do to help the producer Carlos move this channel further along. He does a really good job. It's a good set. The audio is right. Newton Films does a wonderful job. So back to your story. Did you go to public school?
Yes.
What was it like in public school?
So
Early 90s in Denmark.
So we are very so we're kind of like the in between of the socialism and capitalism.
Okay.
We're like the love child, and so there's a lot of things from like the 60s and 70s, like hippies that has like made it over into like the educational system, which is amazing. Look, like a lot of it is amazing. Like they want you to play outside, go like eat some dirt, like eat some worms, and like we always had like recess like after I think 45 minutes, and like we were outside a lot. Sometimes like we would even have our lessons outside. But I went to public school from kindergarten, first and second, and then I was bullied a lot.
Because you stutter?
Yeah.
All right.
No, naturally.
So was their school systems August to May, something similar, or did you guys go 12 months around?
So August to end of May.
Okay. So summer in the northern latitudes, sun's up, longer days, cold water, you guys are outside. But walk us through a little bit. Was fall cold? Was winter really cold? Was spring cold? Like, walk us through the seasons.
So we have all of them. We say summer is the best 2-3 weeks out of the year.
Yeah.
That's when you go to the beach. I mean, I was just FaceTiming with my mom yesterday, and she had the other grandkids over, like my brother's kids, and they were playing outside, and like they had jeans and shirts and jackets on, and it's like June. And I was like, what's going on? And she's like, oh, we're just playing outside. Like the weather's okay. And then like we look it up and it's like low 60s.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I mean, I mean, like sometimes like we get snow in April. You know,
That's the reason I was asking you is the seasons, because did you guys ride the bus to public school? Did you walk to public schools?
so when I was in public school, we literally lived right across the street.
Okay.
So we could walk over. But yeah, so we would ride public transportation. Like we don't have like school buses like here in the States. So like I mean, there is stranger danger, but not a lot of stranger danger because you ride with Mrs. Olson is like going to the grocery store.
So if you're second, third grade, you're on a bus with all of Denmark going to public.
Yeah,
And you're on your own to get off at the right bus stops, how to navigate yourself.
yeah. So like I would say like there's like an age right where it's like more appropriate. But yeah, I mean like I remember 4th, 5th grade, I was riding the bus by myself.
All right, so fourth grade, you're riding the bus by yourself. You're in public school systems, a little bit of love child between communism and capitalism. You're saying socialism. Were you a part of sports? What did you do outside of recess in school? Like, walk us through that.
So I played soccer. That was my sport, man. I was a goalkeeper. My dad like was a goalkeeper as well. So when I was, this highlight, I was watching him, fly through the air and like make the saves and all that stuff. And then when I was 4 and my brother was 3, my dad like signed us up in like the local soccer club.
Okay.
We don't play through the schools. Like it's all like the suburbs have like their own like a public team.
Gotcha.
It's publicly funded. That goes like finds like not sponsors, so like local businesses and all that stuff. And I played soccer from when I was 4 till I was 18 years old, and it was like I loved it. It was my sport.
Fourth grade, fifth grade, sixth grade, you're in public school systems. Nothing major has happened in your life between fourth grade, fifth grade, sixth grade. You're just figuring out how to be a pre-puberty boy in Denmark. Or there anything major that sort of happened in those formidable years, fourth grade, fifth grade, sixth grade, seventh grade, eighth grade, fights? You said you got bullied.
Yeah. So that was in second grade, and it ended with me taking a like a big like stake. It wasn't like a log or anything. It was, but I took a stake to the bully's head, and got in some trouble over that, of course. And then we went. My parents like moved me into private school.
Okay.
Because I was like wrestling a lot with like the emotional of like why am I different? Why don't they want to play with me? Blah blah blah. Like, and like raised in church, and like why like did God make a mistake?
Mm.
Like all those things. And um uh uh kind of when my mom and I was like, all right, like we got to get him out of this school. It's like like one of the nights, like I was like laying in bed, and I I told my mom that I think it would be better like if I just died. Like I don't want to live it.
How old were you?
I was in the second grade, so very little.
Before you whooped this dude's ass or after?
I think it was after, or before. So and then I like made a stand. I guess I just had that like switch of rage, but and like like he was like in the soccer club too. So and like we were arch enemies throughout my whole like soccer career. But he like he wasn't a Christian.
Were you guys attending church?
Mm-hmm.
Were you at a Protestant church there at this thing in second grade, third grade? Like, walk us through that. How you got involved at Protestant church?
So we were in a non-denominational, which like is a denomination, but it's a we called it the Free Church. So we they broke off at the Baptist. So like we're kind of like and Lutherans and and more conservative Baptists, but like spoken tongues and all that good stuff. And there's a couple ladies that would run around like with the flags doing worship, and like as a kid you're always like, I don't know about it.
What's happening here? Yeah, what's happening here? So yes, you said something to your mother in second grade that you're not sure that you want to live.
Mm-hmm.
So they moved you into a private school. Was it
Yes.
Christian run?
Yeah.
Did your Christian? They have a. I mean, were they Christians at that point?
They were. So like they became believers before I was born.
Gotcha.
And yeah, and so I'm named Marcus because the book of Mark is Marcus in Denmark. But it was the first book in the Bible that my mom read.
Mm.
And so like she originally was wanting me to be named Sebastian.
Well, I like Marcus better.
I do too.
Yeah. Sorry, Mom.
Sorry, Mom. Yeah. But yeah, no. So
so what did that take us back to that conversation with your mom?
Yeah, so I don't remember a lot, like other than I was so sad. I'm an emotional child. And like an emotional person. I wear my emotions on my sleeve. It's been a constant thing throughout my whole life. But it's just this whole, like, why am I different? Why am I not like the others? I look the same, but I don't sound the same.
Was everybody wearing mohawks back then?
I honestly don't remember. This is just
have you always had a fade going on their whole life?
No, I've had a fade or mohawk for 14 years, ever since I've known my wife.
I thought that was a Viking thing, bro.
Probably.
All right.
But
so in second grade you didn't have a mohawk?
No. I actually used to have long hair, and my mom she cut it because like a lady at the grocery store was like, "Oh, she's so cute." And so my mom was like, "Nope." So she cut my hair, but
so they moved you into private school.
Yeah, and then I'm there through ninth grade, and it was, I mean, not a perfect school, but it was a very small school. Like when I started there in the third grade, like they only had one grade for every year. So like there was one kindergarten, one first grade, one second grade, and
were your brothers there?
Yeah, so like they came there as like they got old enough to go to school.
Yeah.
But we were 5 or 6, like our students in the third grade, and by the ninth grade we were probably like 20 to 25 students. So we, like the school was very small, like when I started there. But all of the teachers they were believers. Like we would meet like in the mornings for not quiet time, but like have like the Bible readings, like singing songs and all that stuff.
Okay.
And it was it was nice to be there. And yeah, so that's where I went. Not
you covering like math, science, history of Denmark, like
everything.
So
like we learned English from this second grade is mandatory. Sixth grade and up, you start learning German. And then some schools, when like you get into like eighth, ninth, and 10th grade, like you can add on like Italian, French, or Spanish.
So obviously you can speak Danish, and you're speaking English currently.
Yeah.
Do you speak any other languages?
I learned German, but I would be lying if I said I was fluent in German. Yeah. I can probably understand more German than I can speak it. But yeah, that's what I mean. I was not interested in sport.
You said exactly. That's what I was just about to ask you, because you said to the ninth grade. Did I hear you correct?
Yeah.
What happened in the ninth grade?
So we a primary school in Denmark that you were legally required to be in ends after the ninth grade. Then if you want to and if you need to, you can go to 10th grade. But we have a gymnasium, which is like college, like prep.
Okay.
So that's like 10th, 11th, 12th grade, where if you want to attend university, that's where you go. Or there's another one that's called HF. That's 2 years. That's also like will give you access, but that's the one I did. Like it was only 2 years.
So you selected HF.
Yeah. Well, after a while.
Where did that shoot you towards?
So I went there because then you have options. You can go to like a continued education after that, like a university and like all that stuff.
But you said you hate school.
I hated school, yeah. But like mom and dad are always like, hey, you gotta have options, you gotta have options. Make sure you get options.
Gotcha.
But all right, we're blue collar family. I mean, I didn't know my dad's dad. We never even had a relationship with him. Like I never even met him. But if my dad was blue collar, my mom, that's what blue collar. Her, like everybody in like her family, like all of the men they're blue collar. So I thought I was going to university, but it sucked. I went to finance school for 6 months, primarily because of the girls. They were a little, they were like a little prettier in the finance school. It seemed to be like the equivalent, like over here.
How far was finance school from your house?
Half an hour. I mean,
Ride the bus.
yeah, like right.
Because it was like riding a bike, get your car. Oh, you ride a bike?
Yeah, maybe like right. So at
In the snow, bro?
no. The spring and like kind of like summertime.
Could like be cross country skiing.
Yeah, exactly that. No, I literally, and there was a hill. I mean, it felt like uphill both ways. I mean, but yeah, no, in like the 8th or 9th grade, like we were like a group of boys, like we were riding our bikes to school. So, and like it would be like 45 minutes, like one way.
Good stuff.
So
Were you guys riding on the handlebars in Denmark back then?
oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
of course.
Throwing somebody up in the front?
And like was it like pegs or the wheelers or wheelies? Yeah, I mean like like sometimes I mean, but then ninth grade, like you can get a moped
Really?
driver's license. So like you can only go on like the bike paths, like there's like
The pedal rope, hey, we got to crank it up and get started?
that was old school.
Yeah, that's old.
That was old school when they had that. So the Pug Moxies.
You're going fast and they would jump off,
Yeah, and like I have the milk
Oh, yeah.
crate on the back, like held on a bungee cord.
Yeah.
My dad had one, and my uncle, who's a mechanic, like he like works on them all.
Captain Running.
Yeah, it's one of my brothers, Rasmus. He had one, and the amount of times that my parents had to go bail him out.
Time out. What's your brother's name?
Rasmus or Rasmus.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he.
What are your brother's names?
Mikkel, who's like the next one after me.
You got the Bible name, Mark, as what's this? Mikkel?
Yeah, Mikkel. Mikkel.
Michael.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
How do you say his name in Danish?
Mikkel or Mikkel.
Say it one more time?
Mikkel.
Yeah.
It's kind of like having like a hot potato in your mouth.
Yeah. What's the third brother?
Rasmus. And no, so Mikkel, Rasmus, Thomas. So like he was named after my grandfather, Thomas.
Okay.
But then Magnus is my last brother.
Magnus?
Yeah, that's a cool name. So like we say Magnus, but Magnus. But like Magnus, it was like it's like, and he's the Hulk, man.
Wasn't there Magnus for Magnuson? He was a power guy back in the 2000s. I don't think he was from Denmark. He was from like Poland.
Yeah, or like one of those. Or
Such hard. Magnus, and then but was it Rasmus?
Rasmus.
Yeah,
It's like he was born mad.
Yeah.
I mean, he
came out with a mohawk.
He came out mad, like he had purple, man. He came out ready to fight, like had a tomahawk in one hand and a knife in the other.
It's good stuff. All right, so you go to HF? Is that what you said?
Yeah, so it's like higher learning. So HF is meant for adults that wasn't in gymnasium. So gymnasium is specifically like right out of primary school.
But how did you know there was hot chicks over there? Like there's like, or you used to like, hey,
Everybody knows.
gotcha.
So
Understood.
it's like here, if you go to university, and I know I'm going to generalize here, and with all of the respect in me, most jocks and cheerleaders are in communication and like kind of business management.
Yeah.
That's what usually here. Like if so, that was like over there. The girls they looked really nice, but maybe um had partied a little hard. We all missed, and like the guys too. We missed because like you have to be in the you have to go to gymnasium in like the 10th grade.
Yeah.
And if you take a year off to work, you can't you can't go back.
You can't get back in?
No, so then you're out. But then you had HF, which is for adults that wants to like go to university.
Gotcha.
We go there and like we do our gen eds.
Is it still publicly funded? You have debt.
Yeah, everything's publicly funded. So we have public education in Denmark. It's not free as Bernie Sanders likes to say over here. Like we pay for it out of taxes.
Yeah.
But everybody pays into it. So it's like, like the culturally you raise with, we all live together.
So you do that for 6 months. You see some hot chicks, but you can't keep up with the schoolwork.
No.
And you're like, I'm out.
Yeah.
I was seeing the hot chicks while you were there.
Plenty.
Did it work out for you for 6 months?
No, not at all.
So you're like, all right, I got to come up with a different plan.
My arms were too skinny.
You needed a name like Magnus.
Magnus, yeah.
All right, so what happens next?
So then I leave, and that's why I go into the army.
Okay.
And
so you would be like 10th and a half grade, almost 11th grade. How were you?
No, so I left. So I went to boarding school in like the 10th grade.
Yeah, you missed that. What happened in boarding school?
So I went to a Christian boarding school in like the 10th grade.
How's that far away from your house?
An hour away.
So did you live there?
Yeah, we got at the campus. We lived there for the entire year.
No brothers, just you.
Just me and I think 300 other kids.
What brought that up?
Just I was wanting, like some individuality. My parents had, heard about this school through church, and it was a well-known a Christian boarding school. But like just some of us needs to learn how to do your own laundry. Like kind of like growing up a little bit helps when you don't like have your mama.
Yep.
So that's what I went to, and also like having like an adventure. It's like being out on your own. Like feet, but someone else is still like making you food. I mean, you have to do your own laundry or have enough clothes so when you went home on the weekends you get your mom to be.
Did you have to go spend time work with your dad, or was your dad just providing and you guys played soccer and hung out at the house, or like was work ethic a part of your life up until this point? Chores?
Yeah, I mean, like on and off. I mean, my home life, because we had because like my parents had like so many kids, and like like the daycare. I mean, I really had a nice childhood. When I was little, like our house was like kind of like the neighborhood house where like everybody was hanging out at. My parents made an effort to on Friday nights. They had ice cream, chips, like candy, like watching movies, because like they didn't want us to go somewhere else. So they made like a conscious effort.
Yeah, the spot.
Yeah. So yeah. but it was.
But you felt the need to go off and get some individuality. Did you sense the need to mature yourself? Or is that something that your parents came to you and say, hey, Marcus, we feel like you need this. This is how we're gonna suggest this.
So it was a little mixed. So at that time, I was really it caught up in soccer like a lot. I was I was on the cities, the clubs, youth development team. So not first string goalie. I was second string goalie. I was not like good enough to be number one, which was really like eating away at me. But so we were practicing 4 times a week. We were gone traveling like every weekend, and just like academically, I wasn't doing good yet. And no interest in education. I was gonna play soccer or or something else. And so, and obviously not around like enough Christians to like influence me.
Yep.
So it was kind of like a mixture of like my parents really wanting to like wheel me back, but also sold me on the, hey, y'all go on ski trips. You're gonna go to Italy with the school. All right, you're gonna have a room with some roommates. Like that kind of stuff.
Adventure.
Yeah, and being away from mom and dad is always, I mean, to be honest, it's like you go to camp for an.
Was that sort of hard for you to consider? Because you're probably pretty close to your brothers.
Yeah, yeah. So, I struggled a little bit. I mean, we were very tight as a family. Uh, the being that we're like a lot of kids, so obviously we're sharing bedrooms. Like we always ate dinners with each other. Um, and yeah, so that whole was like it was like a bucket of cold water, but it was good.
All right.
Um,
So you go to boarding school for a year. You're like, all right, I'm going to go to finance. I'm going to do HF 6 months. The the chick situation doesn't work out.
no,
And then you're like, I'm going to go to the army.
yeah.
Bro, where did the army come from?
Army was. So I grew up watching, like the Rambo movies, and like all that stuff. And my one of my best friends, Silas, we would have a camo clothes and do like the face paint, right? And go like hide out in like the local woods. And when like people would be like walking their dogs, like we would try to see how close like we could sneak in on the dogs before the dogs spot us.
That's good.
But yeah, it just and like talking about, man, when I go in the army, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. But like also my dad was in the Air Force when and so like like he would tell us stories. And so that like influenced my choice a little bit, but naturally,
Why did you not choose the Danish Air Force?
because I was rebelling, like I was, like I was gonna be better than him, like in a way.
Yeah.
And like live my own life. That's honestly why I never as a kid entertained like the idea of like going like into the trades myself. um because I always wanted like to be better than him, and like had I had I had to prove myself, like as a man, being like 18, 19, you know, like you don't know squat when you're that age. But you know, it's not like show your dad you got a hair, but you think you get a hair on your chest and all of a sudden you're like you're a big dog.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And by the grace of the King and the strength of the